Juanita, thank you for being here with us today. She is going to be chatting to us about youth inclusion in the developing cannabis industry. If you have any questions, write them down or keep them in mind. She will be available on the side afterwards to further the conversation. Thank you so much.
Greetings everybody, away, hello Cape Town. If you are youth, I'm asking you to come and sit down. I'm going to present to you a solution for job opportunities. I'm also going to educate you about the importance of youth inclusion in the developing industry. If you are a mother and you have businesses here, and if you are a father, I'm asking you to come and sit down so that you can listen to the opportunities that we need to bring to the table about youth inclusion. To those that are here, thank you so much for sitting down and listening to me talk today. My name is Juanita. I'm a cannabis activist. I have been an activist in this space for the last 6 years. I've successfully convened protests. I believe that one of the strong nurturing elements about my approach is the ability to gather community. At this point in time, we've developed a council called the Cannabis Community Council. It's birthed from activism, and so we focus on the development of the economy, and the inclusion of the youth is something that has unfortunately been overlooked for a very long time. And so as a mother, as a nurturer, as a teacher in this space, I'm going to inform you about the importance of including youth. I also just want to extend a thank you to the Cannabis Expo organizers. As an activist, I take great pride in being able to stand here and address crowds. It's the highest form of activism. And the Cannabis Expo has been able to leverage the mainstream industry with the community, and that's a very important element. So I want to talk about shaping the industry for its beneficiaries. Exactly that. The beneficiaries of this industry is not us. If we have children, it is for them. We are shaping the space. We are but the thinkers, the idea creators, but the leaders and the implementers are the ones that are following in our footsteps. So why are we excluding them? Why have we brought into our political sphere a constitutional right to privacy? So as a mother, I'm bringing this into my home. I'm bringing this and I'm exposing my children to it. I've got 2 children. One is 8 and one is 4. My 4-year-old is my cannabis baby. At that place in my life, when I was pregnant and in the prime of my activism, I saw that there was no platform for a mother. So I had to create that platform. And many other mothers are also creating platforms. And so it's really important to acknowledge these platforms and show support. The reason why we need to focus on these beneficiaries is because they are going to take the baton from us. So we need to equip them with the knowledge that they need to succeed. We can no longer be leading blindly. We can no longer be following blindly either. So it's really important. It's your responsibility as a parent, as a nurturer of our country, to educate our youth, because those are the children or the future that is going to shape our industry. I want to touch a little bit about education and skills development. It's extremely important that we educate our youth. The last thing we need in this industry is for uneducated decisions to be made. I am not going to be handing over opportunities to youth that know nothing about the industry. We cannot look past youth just because they are underage. The opportunities being made available to them needs to be informed. We need to have spaces where our children can safely go to go and acquire this information. I'm not sending my, I was speaking to somebody earlier saying, at this point in time, the education available to our children only survives in our homes. It shouldn't be the case that our children are only getting educated about cannabis in our homes. That point should be made available, or that access point should be made available outside of the home as well. And I'm calling on education institutions to help formalize this space. When I think about education, I think about a classroom. I think about a teacher. I think about being invested in a topic that I am there to learn. I also acknowledge as a parent that our youth follow the media channels that they follow. We've got a whole group of Gen Zs, leading the way on social media in a very different form to what most of us are used to. And it's really important to make sure we are embedded there, that our message about how we teach the community is being spoken to firstly in their language and through their platforms. We can't be standing saying, I am here, this is my message and you need to come to me. We need to be proactive. This is a new space, a new industry, and we are the teachers in this space. We want to change the perception by nurturing the industry. Nurturing the industry is something that lacks and has been lacking for the longest time. I mean, as long as I'm involved, it's been a very egotistical space. It's a very cutthroat space. People are sort of lashing out for opportunities to develop their skills or their business ideas. And we need to focus on the youth in nurturing how they understand this plant. We come from a place where it is highly stigmatized. And unfortunately, our political sphere has pushed us into a place where it leaves parents like us having to explain to our children that these opportunities that are available isn't because of the stigma, or it isn't because it's only because you can smoke it. By changing the perception and nurturing the industry, I'm saying take a hands-on approach. Call your child. For me, when I am in my home, my children are very familiar with cannabis. They also understand that it is not for them to play around with. They respect it. It's the same as any other ingredient in my fridge. That is how the plant is respected in my home. And I'm inviting you and all parents to bring this approach with your children. And you will start to slowly see that their perception and how it develops and how it changes will soon nurture this industry. Because remember, we're talking about including youth at this early stage. So it's really important that they acknowledge that it is nothing bad. And if they treat it with respect, the plant will treat them with respect. And they can find a place in this beautiful industry. We are surrounded right now by private sector, businesses popping up. These are opportunities for our youth. These businesses will thrive one day. And I'm going to come out with youth through internship programs to put them into your stores. So I'm calling on businesses in this place to make sure that there are internships available, or some kind of portal where skills development acknowledges the children or the youth, acknowledges that we need to part knowledge. We cannot be selfish with our knowledge. The businesses here have social responsibility to part your knowledge so that there's a new generation, an informed generation that steps into this industry and that is able to navigate safely and easily. I, as a mother, do not want to hear my child telling me in 20 years from now, oh, this is not accessible to me, or I can't get that because I need to acquire this information. And no, we need to teach our youth now. They are the leaders tomorrow. So do make sure that you are implementing some kind of internship program within your businesses for skills development. I also want to touch on the regulatory framework that supports youth development. Currently, there are mostly private institutions set up to educate. I'm calling on government to implement programs and opportunities and levers for the youth to be able to grab a hold of and to develop their skills. Like I said earlier on, when I think of a place of education, when I think of school, it was a happy time for me. I had the best time, no responsibilities other than being there to learn. So that element of respect in terms of how our youth is going to learn is really important for our government to acknowledge and to implement channels whereby partnerships can happen with organizations and individuals from marginalized communities across the board can come on and learn without it being inaccessible. It's very, very important that we make these opportunities available to them. We learn, we create the path, we find the levers, and we show our youth. We can no longer hold information. We need to share. So in terms of the importance of the youth in this space, I hope that what I've spoken about today frames a little bit the idea and a pathway forward. I stand before you as a mother, first and foremost. That is why this topic is so important to me. I believe that my children will be able to showcase at an expo like this one day. I believe that there will be more support. I believe that they will have the levers that they need to, because we, the pioneers, all of us here today, have passed that way for them. Let's not forget our children. And when I speak about children, I speak from adolescent right up to under 35. I'm a youth as well. I'm currently 32 years old. And I believe that I'm the perfect candidate to be able to stand before you and say, what's happening? What are we experiencing? As a young mother today, I'm realizing that if I only recently just learned that it only takes for a link to be sent to me to understand that a lever or an opportunity for funding perhaps is available to me, it should be that easy for the youth as well, or for anybody else looking to venture into this space. So the Cannabis Community Council acts as a conduit. We are going to find these opportunities in this developing cannabis space. We are going to ensure that the information we learn is brought to the community. I always encourage in terms of job creation, because the job creation we develop here is exactly what the youth will inherit. Right? So we are sort of molding the space for them one day to be able to formalize and shape the space. And it's really important to make sure that they have a voice. So in terms of being the conduit, leveraging the opportunities at governmental level and bringing them to civil society, job opportunities will become available. And I'm inviting you to come and register at stall 78, the Cannabis Community Council. When these opportunities do get brought to my attention, I will ensure that your interest sphere is spoken to and you receive that information. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. I hope that what you've heard today and what you've learned today gets passed to your children with much love and light. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you guys would like to chat to Connie, she'll be available right here for the next few minutes. We're going to take a 15-minute break.